Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified of any future shows. Feel free to leave comments down below, and please smash that thumbs up. It helps the show out. Evening, folks. How's everybody doing tonight? Have a look at the chat real quick. If anybody's in there? Nope, nobody is in here. Okay, well, I just wanted to do a real quick show. Well, I thought I might do a town hall about a few things, but do a quick show about the change in my my opinion as far as the woo factor goes. Not completely, but I was watching that show Expedition Bigfoot, and when they were walking through, they happened upon a graveyard out in the middle of nowhere, and there used to be a hey Amy, there used to be a is anybody? Oh, we got 5 now. Now 2. How's it going, Crypto? Man, why does it keeps popping back between 5 and 2? Is there anybody else in here? Say hello in the chat and I'll know. Right now the numbers keep changing. Like can't make up its mind how many people are actually here. Now it says 4 but 11 playbacks. I don't know. Anyway, so I was watching that Expedition Bigfoot, which is a good show, by the way, if y'all want to see it. It is it's what Finding Bigfoot should have been, like I said before. If you watched it on my library account, my show on my library account, I actually showed some footage, which I can't do here on YouTube. So, yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about. Well, anyway, they found a graveyard of some children out in the middle of nowhere. Hey, Mason, how's it going? And just before that, I think it was that morning, the woman there, the primatologist, woke up at like 1 in the morning or something like that and said that she thought that she heard children giggling outside of her tent. And it kind of freaked her out. So they were up, they stayed up for like an hour, then they heard whistles, which I think was a bird, but it sounded like a bird to me. But a bird at 1 o'clock in the morning seemed a little odd. So they stayed up for a little bit, and then she finally got tired, went back to sleep. Well, the next night, or that night really, because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, they were out doing a night investigation, looking for, I think they were looking for a heat source, and they ran across a graveyard out in the middle of nowhere. And when they started looking at all the gravestones, every one of the gravestones were of a child under the age of 3. So she lost it. She started, you know, crying and had to go off and kind of get herself back together. And then she was talking about how freaky it was. Now that was crazy. My viewers jumped from, it went 8, 10, 8. I mean, just in less than a second. That's just strange. Anyway, so they were out there. They saw orbs of light. And I got to thinking, I was like, oh, come on now. You know, because y'all know that I'm not into that woo factor. But then I started thinking, I said, well, it's not really woo factor. It's kind of what, I mean, I've had some crazy paranormal things happen to me. One time I was going through a cemetery. Me and my friends used to, you know, my misspent youth when I was about 15, we would, because none of us drove, we would just run around at night, and one of us would always end up getting some booze, and we would drink. And sometimes if we couldn't get booze, we would just run around anyway. So we were out, and a bunch of kids from another town came in, were there. They started chasing us. We almost got into a gang fight. So we all kind of scattered, and I was coming through this graveyard in Winthrop, and it was kind of a shortcut to go around a downtown area to get back by where my house was. And as one of my friends was with me, I forget which one. And as we were coming up to the far end where we would, exit back out onto the road again, I we both saw what looked like it was really creepy. It was, those old style lanterns that are like this big that they used to have. At least I've seen them on like the Hearst wagon that the horse pulls. They have these lanterns like this. They're like just brass or bronze or something. They're about this big, and so we were walking up. We saw a lantern on each side of a big headstone, like maybe 50 yards off in the distance. And there was, you could tell it looked like the dirt had been, like it was prepared to bury somebody. Like there was a hole in the ground in front of the headstone. They had these two lanterns up there, and it looked like the casket was sitting above the hole. And there was something around the sides of it too. I don't remember what it was. But it was just a whole scene of a casket sitting above a dug grave with a headstone and two lanterns with candles. These were candles now. They weren't like lights. They were candle lanterns. You could see them flickering and stuff. And we both looked. I looked at my friend. He looked at me. We're like, what the hell is that? I said, I don't know. Because there were no people there. It was just the casket and the lanterns. And it was just creepy. So we turned around. We took off running the other way. So that was one thing. And then I should finish the story. The reason that it's so paranormal is because the next day I told my other friend, my best friend, and we went down there to look. He's like, they're probably just burying somebody and they got it, they were preparing it or whatever, and they left it for the next morning. So we went there the next morning. There was no sign of anything had been dug up, nothing. Even the gravestone that we saw wasn't even there. There was a small, regular one. This one was kind of huge. So that was kind of creepy. And I've had some other creepy things happen. So anyway, back to the Bigfoot. So, I really can't just completely dismiss the woo factor when it comes to Bigfoot. I will every time completely dismiss that they can cloak themselves like Predator. And I don't know if I covered this in my my last show, because I think I was going to, but I don't know if I actually got to it. It might actually be in the show. This is getting so confusing. I wish I could just, I might just start a website and put all my stuff there so I don't have to keep track of which one got which show and all that stuff. Am I buffering? Am I looking all right, or am I freezing? Because mine is freezing and buffering. Okay, I have it on my TV. It looks all right. All right. Anyway, so yeah, as far as the cloaking like Predator, I've seen trees that have these tiny little leaves on them. They're about that big, and when the wind blows on them a certain way, they flip back and forth. And if you see them from a distance, it looks like something is in front of the tree and it's shimmering like Predator. So I've seen that. I saw that once when I was having lunch at that factory I worked at in Ohio. I was like, I'll bet you anything that's what people are seeing. They're seeing leaves on trees that are like back in the woods that are doing that flickering thing. And they think that there's something's, because they refer to it as a shimmer like Predator. That's exactly what it looks like. But it's just leaves, the way the leaves are flipping back and forth in the wind. So yeah, I'll never say that part of the woo, or that they can go back and forth between dimensions or anything like that. But as far as like having a sixth sense, or maybe even a little bit of telepathy and that kind of thing, because that, I believe anyway, that exists in humans. So if it exists in humans, why wouldn't it exist in Bigfoot? Because I believe Bigfoot are a at least distant relative of humans. So yeah, I have to rethink my whole woo factor idea. Hey Teresa, Huey, how's it going? So folks, yeah, this whole trying to figure out how to change up my my site, where to put everything, it's just becoming a real pain in the butt. Because on YouTube, and now they're actually, I got a message from YouTube today saying that because I guess they're not laying people off, but because they're not having people come to work anymore, that if they get copyright claims, they're just going to delete your video because they don't have time to review them. Oh my God. Hi, Teresa. Hey, Huey. So, yeah, more fun with YouTube. Every time we turn around, there's something, they're demonetizing us. Now they're starting to just flat out delete videos, delete people's accounts. I'm actually surprised I haven't got hit by that myself, because I kind of skirt the border a lot. Man, my CPU's going like mad for some reason. So yeah, what was I talking about? Yeah, the woo factor. And as far as man, it's really starting to buffer a lot. As far as the one thing that comes up a lot is oh, thanks, Huey. This whole thing about, what the heck was it? The biblical angels or whatever. I don't believe that either. So yeah, I only believe in the woo as far as like a paranormal experiences that like humans have. I think Bigfoots can also have. But I also think that it's quite possible that they're more in touch than we are, because we've just been uh civilized, civilizationed or whatever, because of the way that we now exist. We've probably gone out of touch with a lot of that stuff, and a lot of people do say that, like the pineal gland has hardened or whatever, so we no longer see or experience things and all that we used to. So I guess it's possible that Bigfoot, is a little more in touch than we are, which I think could have some bearing on, like, when people say, like, they go miles and miles home, and after a couple of days the Bigfoot shows up at their house. Some people say, oh, that's because they can smell you, or they can hear your engine, and they can follow you. And I just don't believe that. However, I could believe that there's some kind of a sixth sense kind of thing going on, where they kind of just get a sense of which way to go and that kind of thing. We know that animals, dogs and stuff, they have those kinds of senses, like just this weird, uncanny uh, ability to pick up on things. So I think Bigfoot could too. So as far as that's concerned, yeah, I believe that there's some woo going on with the Bigfoot, and I think that their woo might be a little stronger than ours, but I don't think it's anything any different than some of the things we've heard that people have experienced, or that kind of thing. Psychic, kind of Abilities, yeah. What did I say a minute ago? It just went out, the word went out of my head. But they can kind of pick up on what you're thinking. You can pick up. I forget what it's called. Went right on my head. So yeah, those kinds of things. I think it's quite possible that Bigfoot really experiences it and experiences it in a way that's a little stronger than the way we do, because we don't exercise those muscles, so to speak, anymore. Well, most of us anyway. So I think that's possible. So anybody have any questions or anything to bring up? Anything, y'all? Any comments on the woo stuff? All right. Well, as far as I am making some changes to the channel. What I was doing was I was going to put, like I said the last time, put my shows on library. I don't know what mind speak means, Teresa. I've never. If you're talking about how people can hear the Bigfoot talking to them, like what is it? I think I did hear a story about somebody who said the Bigfoot was talking to them at their house or something, and the Bigfoot's way far away, but the Bigfoot's talking to them while they're at the house. I don't think that I don't think I believe in that. I think that you can get an impression, but if you were there in proximity to a Bigfoot, I think that you can get an impression of what the Bigfoot's intentions are. I believe anyway. I mean, who knows? I don't know for sure. I'm saying my what I believe is that you might get an impression of what the Bigfoot's thinking or feeling, but you're not going to literally hear it talking to you because Bigfoots don't speak English, right? So you wouldn't hear them talk. Yeah, infrasound, but that's a physical thing. That's been a known fact for a long time. I'm talking about the woo stuff. I believe that there's psychic things going on. I don't, as far as mind speak, I don't think that people are literally hearing a Bigfoot talk to them. I think that they can get an idea of an intention, but that's not really. I mean, think about it. That may not be so much the Bigfoot as it is the human, right? Because if you're every one of us has had this where you're sitting someplace doing something and somebody's staring at you and you just turn around and look. You don't even think anything. You don't think, oh, somebody's staring at me, and you turn around. You just kind of get this feeling like, what? And you turn around and there's somebody staring at you. I mean, maybe sometimes you do. You get this feeling like somebody's staring at you, but I've done it. I don't know how many times. Just get this feeling like I need to turn around and look and see somebody staring at me. Survival tips of Corona? Hell. As far as surviving the big C, as I call it, I've gone off my multiple sclerosis medication because it what do you call it? It inhibits my immune system. It brings my immune system down. What the hell did I just say? Or some kind of notice came up on my screen here. Anyway, yeah, it compromises my immune system. And I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, let's see. I have to work Uber and Lyft. It's the only way I can make money. I ain't making crap on YouTube. So I have no option but to do it. I have to work airports. I have to take drunks home at the bars. So, it's all these environments that if coronavirus comes around here, obviously I'm going to get exposed to it. So I thought, well, let's see. I go off my beta serin, and it's possible I'll have a relapse, and maybe I'll be crippled worse, but more than likely not. But I could have a relapse, and it could have a negative effect on me. Now, if I get the big C, I'll die. So, hmm, what do I do? So go off my medication and just hope that I don't have a relapse is probably as far as the odds go for me, the better odds. So I'm not taking any more medication, and I'm gonna have to just get through this and start taking it again. Yeah, supposedly the pineal gland is also the third eye. The psychic thing. Yeah, I was watching the news tonight, and yeah, it's looking pretty nasty out there. It's funny. I had lunch with my father day before yesterday, and I'm talking to him about this, and he's like, "Well, it's no worse than the H1N1. The Spanish or whatever flu, the bird flu, whatever the hell it was. Back in 2010." And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Because I was up in the middle of bumfucked Ohio, and I remember hearing something about it, but never really knew. And he's like, "Yeah, that was much worse. There were 60 million infected and blah blah." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" I was under the impression this was worse. Now, and then I'm looking at the news tonight and watching everything that's going on and Trump and everything, and I'm like, "There's no way that all of this went on in 2010, and I never heard nothing about it." I think, oh yeah, I looked it up. The H1N1 was there, but I don't think it was as bad as this is. Yeah, I have 4 masks in my console. I'm gonna start wearing those. I'm looking for they got some N99, 96 N96 masks on Google, or not Google, on Amazon, and I've been waiting to buy one of these masks. It's actually one of the respirator. It's got a little valve on the side. It's not quite like the painting masks or the sanding masks, but it's a step up from the like fiber ones that you can put on the round ones. And ever since there was only 2,000 infected in China, I've been trying to buy one of these masks, but all of the Chinese wiped Amazon out of all of the N95 masks, and they've been gone ever since. Hey, Robert. They're doing martial law-ish stuff everywhere, all over the country. San Francisco, it's you're quarantined to your homes. I mean, they're not stopping people from going and getting food, but you're supposed to stay in your homes. Gun sales, well, yeah, I guess we might see some looting and stuff, but I don't know. If people loot, I hope they loot people that are sick so that they get sick. you know, the looters go and loot somebody and they end up catching the virus and dying. Serves them right. Oh, yeah, I've got some gloves too. Um, I'm gonna wear a mask and gloves from now on. I didn't work yesterday and tonight, but I'm going to work tomorrow night. Hey, Robert. I think I said hi, but I don't remember. I don't think so. Nine N's? What is a 9N? Or you mean N99? I'd like to know where the hell you got one, because I've been trying to order one for 2 months and they've been out. I was able to get those stupid round things. They're like paper with the elastic thing that people wear, like when they're, I don't know, when they're painting their house or whatever. You know, there's just chintzy ones. But I wanted to get an actual good, they're like 20, $30 or something. You know, they're reusable. They have a carbon filter inside of them that you can change. But they've been out for months. And even the masks I do have, can't get anymore. As a matter of fact, I think Trump asked people, if you have these, you know, donate them to somebody. I forget who. The hospitals, I think. I don't know, Amy, you're the nurse. Would warm weather kill a virus? I wouldn't think that it would. What am I hearing? Oh, should just take those off. I'm not listening to anything anyway. Just makes it harder for me to hear. Amazon. You'll have to send me a link to what you're talking about, because I mean, I'm telling you, I have searched Amazon for N99s. They are not there. I mean, if you got them 3 weeks ago, you're probably talking about the ones like I have in my car. Those are the only ones I could find. Hey Dave, what pictures are those? I've not, I've been out of the loop. I've been working, well, last 2 nights, but I've been working on some other things the last 2 nights that I'll get into in a minute. Are you talking, Amy? Are you talking about the round ones that have the elastic band that goes around your head? They don't have a valve on them. They're just kind of bowl shaped, and they go on your face, and they have a little thing you pinch on the top. Like usually people get them like when they're gonna clean like their attic or something. They are N96, but they're not the ones I'm looking for. So where there's Colorado Bigfoot looking through the window, where was that? They have a valve, really? Well, 3 weeks ago, yeah, I think they did have those, but they're basically exactly what I'm talking about, except they have the valve in the front and on the right in the middle. They had those too, but I didn't see the added expense, since it was pretty much exactly the same. And the only difference is that the one with the valve, at least the one I'm thinking about, I guess didn't get as warm or something. Rocky Mountain Sasquatch, huh? Looking in the window. Huh. I've not heard that one yet. That happened recently, or is that somebody rehashing something from 10 years ago? What are you doing down there? Making an awful lot of noise down there. Actually, yeah, man. The guy from Survivor? Yeah, man. I'm joking. Scott Yowman. Okay, I'm gonna look him up real quick. Sadie, what the hell are you doing? Okay. I think I found them. Bailey, Colorado. Bigfoot peers through a window. Okay. Size is this one? Oh, that's weird. Why is there such a difference between these two pictures? Ten-minute video that was on a CPU. Top fire and the pics taken from the TV were all they had of it. Isn't it funny how that happens? How people get video of a Bigfoot and then something like the house burns down happens, or the FBI hacks their computer, or there's always something. But this is an interesting picture, though. So it doesn't. It kind of looks like a Bigfoot, and at the same time, it doesn't. The brow ridge isn't big enough for one. The cheeks are big, but the nose is too big for the face. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I'd have to see if. I mean, I'm only looking at this one picture. See if they have any more. I mean, in a way, it looks good, and in a way, it doesn't. I guess it looks good because it doesn't look like the typical crap that you see people posting as far as pictures. But at the same time, there's just features that don't really make sense on this for a Bigfoot. It would be nice to get a better version if there are any. What are you doing, sir? Really? Yeah? Okay. My cat's being really? Okay. My cat's being annoying, I guess. Shoot, how do I get back? Sorry, folks, I couldn't see your chat while I was looking all that up. What are you doing? Todd Standing did a video on him. Thanks for taking it. It was from 10-minute video. I saw that. Yep, that's it. Or the man in black show up. Yeah, right. Convenient. That I read, is this up here? That would have to be taken with a flash camera. And not necessarily. It depends if there was a bright light shining through the window. The nose reminds me of Bigfoot head. Peter Kane has? I don't know who Peter Kane is. A pretty dope video. I clipped it from the background of one of Bigfoot Odyssey's documentaries, still touching it up. Bigfoot, the hell are you? Hold on, folks. Hear him. Oh, that's your tail. Anyway, yeah, Bigfoot Odyssey. One of his what now? One of his lost track of where I was. Flash camera. Oh, documentaries. Can y'all hear my cat? I can send it to you if you want to take a look. Skills. Yeah, sure. You can send it to me. Sasquatch hypotheses at Gmail. He doesn't even realize what's happening in the video. Hey, ruptured duck. There's a Bigfoot running in the background of the video. Seriously, wow. Just one of his latest videos, or is it like an old one that you happen to be looking at and go, oh, wow, check that out. Yeah, you should hear him. That's nothing. He gets really loud. Sounds like he's trying to talk. I think it's because he's getting old. He's like 13 now, so maybe he's got, like his arthritis is acting up, his sciatica, something like that. Well, yeah, Robert, yeah, as far as a picture, yeah, it's hard to prove a picture is real because of the way technology is today. I mean, before I had got MS and my nerves got all messed up, I could do a photorealistic, edit or modification or whatever of, anything, and you would think it was real. I can't anymore, but there are people out there that are more talented than I was. So, I mean, there's some pretty crazy stuff. I mean, have you looked at some of the new, what was I looking at? Well, for instance, Captain America, the work they do when they put what's his face's face on a small dude. I mean, we can do some pretty crazy stuff now. That's who, Peter Kane, that dog trainer. Yeah, that guy's out of his mind. Yeah, that dude, I saw him. I forget. There was like, he said he had a real, oh, I think it was a real Bigfoot head. And I've seen a Bigfoot head, and I saw it, and I said, no, that's not a real Bigfoot head. Then he was telling this story about this female Bigfoot that had been in his yard, and she tried to run away and stepped over the barbed wire fence, and her junk got caught in the barbed wire, and he had to go over there and help her get loose. That guy's out of his mind, I'm telling you. One on Woodburger. Oh, you mean the documentary? He did a documentary on Woodburger Farm. I haven't been keeping up, honestly. I kind of stopped keeping up because, after, you know, decades of looking into all this stuff, it's really the same old thing over and over and over and over. There's really nothing new going on. It's the same old blob squatches and that kind of thing. So I really kind of stopped looking into things as deep as I used to. Like, well, the picture I just looked at of the thing in the window. I mean, it is a little different, but it's kind of the same old thing. You know, somebody trying to fake a picture in a window. I can't figure out if that dude is nuts or if he's making fun of the Bigfoot community. Um, or if he's just doing it to drive up views on his site, because I don't understand why he puts that stuff, because he is evidently, and I've watched some of his dog training things. Evidently he really is a good dog trainer. But then he puts these Bigfoot things on the same channel as he puts his dog training. So I don't know. I think maybe the guy's nuts. I don't know. What are you chewing on? Oh, okay. Okay, go on. I didn't realize you were just chewing your nails. Well, you can chew your nails all you want. All right, yeah, okay. Give me a minute. You've heard he's a comedian? Well, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I seem to remember that he really is a dog trainer, and evidently he's a very good and very well respected and popular dog trainer. But he's just a nutbag when it comes to this Bigfoot stuff. You know, so I can't make heads or tails of this dude. And then one time he did the first video I saw of him was when he was doing a video where he was pissed. He was angry because a Bigfoot was hiding in a barn up the street from his house. And I guess the authorities came in and killed the Bigfoot, but they like cordoned off the area, wouldn't let anyone through. And he even did where he was up there filming them going into this barn and stuff. And I was like, well, that's pretty crazy. So I don't know what really was going on, because then I watched another video of him saying, I've got a real head and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's out of his mind. So I can't believe a damn word he says. So I don't know what that one video was about, but it seemed pretty realistic as far as the authorities and the Bigfoot in the barn and everything. But you know, then he talks about the female Bigfoot and in obvious plaster cast or plaster of Paris things. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if he was just making the crap up to increase the views to his site. Yeah. So well, there really was something going on because he filmed it. They really did have police cars and everything blocking traffic and not letting anyone in there. And they were really messing with the barn. Or it appeared to that way anyway. So that video appeared to be, there was really something going on, but he was saying that it was about a Bigfoot hiding in the barn. So I don't know. Why do we need wildlife photographers to take footage of bears, Robert? Right? Nah, Freeman film. I don't know. I mean, the Freeman film, to me, it doesn't look like a real Bigfoot. It just looks like a guy in a suit. But when you examine the circumstances surrounding it, and that, you know, he did catch that Bigfoot did pick up a small, what appeared to be a baby Bigfoot, you know, was one of the last things seen on that film. So maybe it was just a weird looking Bigfoot. So, but to me, you know, just something weird about it. Yeah, MK Davis, though, he's beating a dead horse to death, though. I mean, he's constantly redoing the same thing over and over again. And then you have, what's his face? Thinker Thunker, who calls everything a Bigfoot. You know, there's some stuff, like the white Bigfoot. I know that's not a Bigfoot. It doesn't look anything like a Bigfoot. But he calls it a Bigfoot, and so do most of everybody else calls it a Bigfoot. Steve Isdell from How to Hunt. I don't know. I mean, he really is out there, in the environment. And the stories he tells seem to be pretty cohesive. So, I mean, got to take him for his word. It's just the thing is that they're stories at the end of the day. Who never watches the Patty ones? Why are you bothering me? Yes, okay, okay. Okay, folks. I gotta go. My dog's pestering me. She needs to go outside, and it takes me forever to walk over to the door because I, barely walk. So, okay, yeah, just right. Hold on. So I gotta hit the road. So, good night, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to be making some changes, so I'll probably post another video to explain the changes. Hey, Matt. And anyway, until next time, y'all take it easy. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified of any future shows. Feel free to leave comments down below, and please smash that thumbs up. It helps the show out.